Hi, I'm Phil Malto, and welcome to Snowmobiler Television. We've got a great season lined up for this year, but before we get to that, let's go back and relive the best moments from last year, the winter of 2015. After getting our sleds and riding gear ready for the season, we headed to the Abitibi region of Quebec where the trails had just opened. We unloaded our out-of-the-crate Polaris Anniversary Edition 800 HO and our freshly unpacked Yamaha Viper LTX. It was time to break in our new sleds on the trails that clubs had just opened and freshly groomed. The snow was great, and the cold temperatures guaranteed that the snow was here to stay.
The first thing is the trails. The trails are amazing because we have a lot of snow and the temperature is just cold enough to keep the grooming perfect. So that's easier for us to have beautiful trails soon in the winter and late too. So we have a beautiful season.
We also joined up with the intrepid snowmobiler Craig Nicholson and his touring crew.
The riding is a real variety of stuff. There's the long, flat, straight stretches, but there's also lots of rolling trails with wide, sweeping corners, and a lot of local trails that take you to some really good services.
Following up on our trail riding experiences in the flatland, we were off to British Columbia to play in the powder. Every time we go to the mountains, it's a great mountain riding experience. It is a different world of riding and a different world of snow and scenery as well. We logged a lot of hours at high altitude and rode with some great people who made this another incredible mountain adventure.
This sport in itself is a huge challenge, physically, mentally. I love it. There's nothing like a big blower day. Go out and just spend all day wiping the snow off your goggles, trying to get to a new zone, a new area. You know, I'm very much a type of rider where I'm like, what's over there? So, I don't know, just every day is a new day.
To go home now and ride the trails is going to be, it'll still be fun, I'm sure, but I think I'll be getting right into the snowmobile, and it's quite an experience.
After coming down from the mountains, it was time to head back to the flatlands for some trail riding. In central Ontario, we got into a trail system that is a hub for many Ontario riders. The Bancroft area provided smooth, well-established trails that connected us to great loops and many towns with all the sledding amenities. The historic rail lines have been converted into a great network for snowmobilers to ride in that region or connect with other sledding hubs.
Trail B106E, which is a heritage trail, runs straight through town. It's pretty much the backbone of the trail system. Part of how it's good for snowmobilers is we live up here and we snowmobile up here ourselves. So as far as anticipating what snowmobilers need, we all have information, even our staff though, they're online every day, checking trail conditions, making sure we know what to tell people, whether it's when they call, wanting to know is this a good weekend to come or not, we make sure we've got the most accurate information for them.
Whenever the STV crew is in central Ontario, we always seem to find ourselves at a vintage event. The sights, the sounds, the smells are overwhelming. And it's hard to believe that back in the 1970s, there was over 150 manufacturers making snowmobiles. Events like this for snowmobilers are what summer car shows are for auto historians. Everything is here, and an afternoon at a vintage event goes by way too quickly.
I think the draw is nostalgia. It's what a lot of us did with our dads as kids. We grew up with these things in Halliburton, in this area, in Ontario, rode snowmobiles, and it's just kind of going back to our youth for a lot of us, and there's a new generation that have interest too, so that makes it all the more fun having young people involved. Well, back in the early 70s, of course, there were over 100 manufacturers. Now there's just 4. These machines here are everyday riders that, again, a lot of us grew up with our dads and grandfathers, and it's just brings back a lot of memories.
Riding as often as we do, we're able to do some in-depth analysis of our test fleet sleds. However, sometimes it's a simple day ride that really gives us the opportunity to go through the nuts and bolts of our sleds. With no schedule, we can pause and really dissect the technical side of a snowmobile. Hitting the moguls, extra padding for the knees. And my 51-year-old knees, they really appreciate that. It's so easy on the fly, day or night, to adjust your handle grips. I love that idea. back in 2003, 2004 to today's sled, the rear skid has always been a bit of a challenge. Unlike previous designs, the axis setup is much easier to deal with. There's no more finicky setups. You've got a setup that works for you and you can just keep riding. Snowmobiling can be quite different from one region to another region. In Ontario, specifically Grey Bruce counties, the snow gods smile on that whole area, and the tight bush and the open fields offer some great riding experiences.
You should come to Grey County because of our abundance of snow. So because we're located around Georgian Bay, the lake effect provides us with, as I say, a lot of fresh powder. Annually, we receive over 9 feet of snow, so that obviously provides a lot of base. We do have freshly groomed trails. And the nice thing about Grey and Bruce, over the fact that we've got 3,600 kilometers of trail, we offer a lot of variety. So our trails, we have some densely forested areas as well as some rural, landscapes with barns and stuff in the background.
Snow and scenery and an easy drive from populated areas to the south make Grey Bruce a great winter riding choice. The winter of 2015 provided great opportunities for our riding teams. And near the end of the winter, we went to Whitecourt, Alberta for the World Snowmobile Invasion for more great venues at this world-class event. We hung out with representatives from national, provincial, and local snowmobiling, as well as a few international guests as well. We also had the opportunity to hang out with the best freestyle riders in the world. Great trails, great people, an amazing freestyle show, and over 1,000 sleds in one organized ride made the Whitecourt experience truly incredible.
This is amazing, just to see this many snowmobiles all in one place going for a record. It's pretty phenomenal, and I'm just excited to be a part of it.
Excited to be part of the Alberta Snowmobile Association and have members from not only our club but other clubs in our area to come out, and clubs across the province actually. We had people from Japan here, for crying out loud, helping us set this record. Michigan, Minnesota, Idaho, Montana, people I talked to out there from British Columbia, all over the place. So pretty exciting, not only Whitecourt people obviously, but it just feels great to sort of get this sport kick-started again in a sense.
びっくりしました。素晴らしいことだと思います。
Actually, this is the first time for him to see this much snowmobile in one place. It's great, he said.
As the winter of 2015 drew to a close, we headed to Snowshoot in Montana, where we met up with all 4 OEMs and rode all the 2016 sleds. All 4 manufacturers brought their new iron to Montana, and that's where we begin our 2016 show. Let's ride.
STV is sponsored by Yamaha, revs your heart. Kimpex, fueled by fun. And by Skidoo, never stop pushing.
Skidoo always impresses our test riders. Regardless of the success they've had with the previous year's models, they always come back with even more new technology.
New models for this year, we've actually got 4 new models. We've got the Blizzard, the MXZ Blizzard, so that's going to be an in-season snowmobile that has the 129R motion on it, comes with an ice ripper track, and the Pilot TS skis standard. It's kind of a heritage look to it. It's got the, rather than the sunburst yellow, we're using a traditional Skidoo yellow on that one. Really good looking sled. Definitely going to be a popular seller for us in that category, in the MXZ category. New sled in the Renegade category is the Renegade Enduro. Now this snowmobile was patterned after the adventure bikes you see out there, where you can run on the tar for a long period of time and then jump off and go on a dirt road up to a single track line through the woods. So the Enduro's in that same vein. It's meant, you could go on a groomed trail if you want, but guess what? If you get someplace where you want to go exploring, it's a very capable, very competent machine, able to do all those things. So it's kind of a spirited machine like that. Next up for new machines would be the Expedition Extreme. The Extreme is a really wild ride. It starts out life as a utility vehicle, but we add the 800R engine to it. So the E-Tech, best E-Tech is in it, the biggest E-Tech is in it. And then we put the KYB Pro 36 shocks all around on it, the SC5 rear skid on it, big 20-inch track on it, 154 inches long, but 1.75 deep. This machine's a monster. It's a ton of fun. It can go anywhere you want it to go. It can go really well on the trails. And it can certainly go off trail. Summit Burton's a new machine for us this year too. I mean, what we've got here is we have a Summit SP 154 where we've added a double seat to it, a ski rack on the back of it, or a snowboard rack on the back of it. Makes it very easy for guys that want to go snowboarding, skiing in the back country where the fresh powder is to access that. And that vehicle carries their equipment very well, very easily, along with two people. So it's really kind of it's a move in a direction of saying, hey, Mr. Snowboarder, Mr. Skier, rather than using a chairlift or a helicopter, why don't you come and use a snowmobile instead?
The new models from BRP are always impressive, as is the new technology that the Valcour engineers bring to the snow.
Well, a couple of new technologies. One would be Pilot TS Ski. It's the first adjustable ski that allows a rider to choose the amount of bite that they've got out of the front end of their snowmobile. So once you get your suspension set up really the way you want it, you no longer then have to try and make adjustments for ski pressure with your suspension. You can just do it with the ski itself. It makes it a really nice option, nice way to adjust the machine to fit you. Yeah, we have a large lineup of snowmobiles because there's a lot of niches that people want to fill. I mean, somebody wants an Expedition Extreme, for instance, that we just came out with. They want a machine that's utility oriented, but lots of power and can still be a lot of fun. On top of that, we need the Tundra LT. For the guy that's needs a little snowshoe type thing that can really go into the woods and be very light on its feet, economical to run, economical to own, all the way up to an XRS, like a Renegade XRS. That's a machine that's got all the bells and whistles on it for a performance rider. So, you look at the lineup, yeah, there's a lot of different snowmobiles, but there's also a lot of different markets we need to answer.
Polaris sleds have always been impressive on the trails and always impressive in the bumps. And in 2016, Polaris is driven to be #1 in the mountain market. Our test riders witnessed the lightweight chassis and quick response power, which will ensure that all Polaris riders will get the powder performance that they expect.
This new RMK is 90% brand new parts versus what our Model Year 15 Pro RMK was. A lot of the new changes that stand out for this machine are the patented raised chassis, which lifts the sled off the ground, gives you more ground clearance, gives you better maneuverability on the hill. Some more of the big changes were the new aluminum forged arms, industry first from an OEM, 1.6 pounds lighter than the current or the previous system that we had. Some of the other big changes were the rear suspension. That was a change of about 3 pounds of weight taken out from our previous suspension. So the Polaris lineup with the Axis chassis now we've got our trail performance sleds in the Axis chassis. We've brought our RMK into the Axis chassis. The success of the Model Year 15 trail performance Axis sleds has been really, really good. We've had really good luck with them. The new 800 engine has been almost flawless, and the power that engine puts out is fantastic.
Every year, Yamaha impresses our test riders with their high level of quality and their never-ending drive to make things even better.
So we've got a lot of new things going on with our lineup of Vipers. We have a whole bunch of new shock packages, the RTX SE and the LTX LE, the spring-only package. Get a new Fox coil spring clicker piggyback shock that's real easy to adjust. There's 3 stops on that clicker knob. It's labeled, it's got a big knob, and it makes a difference each time you click it. We've got new track options. We've got new STX models that are kind of adventure sled, if you will. We've got a saddlebagger with a 137 STX, and we've got more of a pickup truck bed with a bed in the back with a hard tonneau cover, and there's actually a 4.6 gallon auxiliary fuel tank back there. So now you've got a sled with over 15 gallons of capacity for great range.
More engine technology along with suspension simplification will have the Yamaha faithful smiling for 2016.
3 major engineering projects that we've undertaken for this year. First, we have a new engine management system. It's called YCCT, Yamaha Chip Control Throttle. And what it is it's actually 2 systems working together as one. The YCCT system manages airflow to our 3-cylinder engine. And then we have a second part called D mode that manages fuel flow. And what that does is when it works together, it gives customers 3 different modes that they can choose. Sport, which is everything we love about Vector performance. It's snappy throttle response, it's sporty, it's fun. Then you hit the mode button once and it goes into touring mode, which backs off a little bit of the throttle response, a little bit of that snap in the low and mid range for a little more touring minded trail experience. You also get a little bit of fuel economy gain out of that. And then if you hit the mode button a 3rd time, it'll go into E or entry mode. And what that does is it lowers the whole performance of the engine. It really relaxes the throttle response. So the second engineering project that we've undertaken is actually a new rear suspension for the Vector and the Apex models. It comes in 2 lengths, 129 and 146. We're calling it the single shot rear suspension. It's a next generation monoshock that doesn't actually diminish any of the ride quality. And I'm happy to say that we've hit the targets. The sleds ride great out here, especially in Yellowstone with that rental chop. It's exactly what the single shot was designed to do. And they're lighter. The 129 is over 10 pounds lighter than last year's 128 mono, and the 146 is actually about 9 pounds lighter than last year's 136 skid. So we gained 10 inches of track length, and we dropped 9 pounds of unsprung weight. Our third engineering project that we've undertaken is a new mountain front suspension. We call it the SRVM, and it's a narrow stance. It's adjustable from 34.5 to 38.5 inches. It'll come set in the middle, about 36 inches from the factory. But one of the key design features of the new suspension, aside from the narrow stance, is that the spindles are actually tapered into the chassis. So when you look at it from the front, you don't see a big spindle hanging out on the side. And what that does is it allows mountain riders to pitch the sled up on a side hill or go play in the powder and not hang up and carve a bunch of extra snow and really slow you down. It makes it very agile, very nimble off trail. And the mountain guys that have been on it really love the side hill ability.
For 2016, Artic gives you, the buyer, some choices in chassis. They also give you some choices in 2-stroke and 4-stroke engines. This winter, the folks from Thief River Falls will keep pushing the color green to the front of the pack. From ditch-banging smiles to trail riding and deep powder grins, the 2016 lineup from Artic will put positive looks on everyone's faces.
For 2016, Artic's been very busy. First off, in our mountain sleds, we have a whole new front end design. This helps our mountain sled side hill better. It helps them get over on their sides better. We redesigned the rear suspension, all for improved rideability off trail. And then we move into our utility and touring section, and this is entirely new. We have new models, we have new engines we introduced. So we've been very, very busy there, and these are things we're very proud of this year. We got high performance sleds, for the racer type guy, the trail performance guy. We've got things for the utility person that are attractive, nice quality fit and finish. So we've got a little bit of something for everybody. We'd like to think at Artic we offer a snowmobile for every rider. So what we tell people is be honest with yourself, what kind of rider are you? And then look at our lineup to see where your needs fit in. And we have everything from 65 horsepower all the way up to 180 horsepower.
What we wear on the snow has really changed a lot since the 70s when I wore that old bucket. Jeremy Girard is here from Kimpex. And Jeremy, what's new for our crew for this riding season?
Basically, Kimpex has decided to equip the crew with a jacket called the Instinct. This jacket, some of the features of it includes the Voltez lining, which is a windproof, waterproof, breathable jacket. It comes with Primaloft, and that's your warmth factor. And then it's got many, tech features of this coat. Removable hood. It comes with a ripstop material, a removable neck warmer, magnetic flaps as well as waterproof zippers. So the gloves are basically part of our throttle series. It's got a Hypora Thinsulate lining with 100 grams. So it's got a insert of foam in the surface of it for extra warmth.
And we got the matching pants. It's all one fashion statement, if you will.
Correct. So we've also got the peak pant, which comes with also the Hypora Voltes lining with waterproof zippers, reinforcement in the knees, reinforcement in the bottom, and also a fleece throughout the bottom.
And you're also accessorizing this. We'll be talking about helmets in a later segment, but today this is the matching gear that we're going to be wearing with the suit.
Correct. So this is our TX529 helmet. It's a polycarbonate helmet, which basically creates a very light helmet. Kimpex designs all of its helmet with an integrated breath box that's removable. It comes in different shell sizes to allow for, from extra small through the extra large or larger than extra large head. Basically, the large vents in the peak allow for a lot of airflow. Sealed up vents create basic, for warmth. And then again, we've got the electric goggles, which is a new feature. It allows you to plug in your goggles to your snowmobile, or there is a battery pack available.
And we all remember last year was a tricky season. 2015 threw a lot of different weather. We had mild weather. We had some -35 driving winds. So clothing is important to make sure you're dressed for absolutely everything that winter can throw at you.
STV is sponsored by Ultimax Belts. Performance proven, performance driven. Triton Trailers. The difference is in the details. And by CKX. Wear your passion.
As you just saw, 2016 is going to be an incredible season. All 4 OEMs have brought great technology to the snow. And on next week's episode, our test riders will be trying out some of that technology as they try out the crossover touring sleds. You'll want to join us for that. This is going to be a busy season, so please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and on our web pages. And if you want to get a hold of me directly, try Phil at snowmobilertv.com. We hope to see you next week here on the snow.